Hey gang, Kevin here, Life22. If you haven't done so already, I would advise, highly advise, and I think 9 out of every 10 dentists also tell you to subscribe, or like below. So if you haven't heard that, then I'm telling you now. So get to it. We are back with Ward 6, the upcoming Olean election on Ward 6 for 2021. So like the last one, I read the fish wrap, and the fish wrap says nothing new, right? So we've got two candidates running for Ward 6. You have the incumbent who was selected by the council, appointed by the mayor and ratified by the council to fill Ron DiPolito's position, who was filling for longtime runner Nathaniel Smith from the Worth W. Smith Company. Nate was an alderman there for over a decade, I believe. He was Nate's the man. If you don't know Nate, you got to get to know him. He local guy, local business, great thinker. I also like Nate because he's very conservative, like myself. And obviously, most of you have seen some of my takes on the situation at the Olean Common Council. Vernon is. I like Vernon. I get along with Vernon. I don't know if he gets along with me. Me and him don't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and I think that's something that he may have an issue with me on overcoming. I usually don't hold that against people. I'll still talk with people and conversate with them, so yay on me. But yeah, and then there is Nick Peterson, who is a newcomer. I believe he interviewed for the position when Vernon was appointed, but Vernon obviously got the selection. But I've based on, that. So we can go right into the fish wrap here. So why are you running in July? Let's see here. He has a vision for Olean. He's raised his family here with his wife. He thinks he can make a positive difference and can continue to prove his capabilities and dedication to the city. What's your number one priority? To make Olean more marketable in the economy. It's not an overnight process, which is true. It isn't. A lot of people try to market themselves and Olean. I don't think you're going to bring in more jobs just being an alderman, even with a whole crack-notch team of well-trained aldermen and people in the, with a good mayor and all that other stuff. I mean, you can help. It doesn't hurt. You don't want anti-job people to be in there, but you're not going to be the ones that are going to be out there hooking and bringing people into this area. So, yeah. Let's see here. Peterson's a local newcomer. His answers are pretty weak to these questions. Obviously, we've seen Vernon's track record. I'm not a fan, so I probably would... I got out of a basement. I keep finding cobwebs on me. I'm not a fan of his track record, just because it's always pushing Olean in the right direction. Almost everything is pushing Olean in the right direction. The problem is the state isn't, and you're not the state with this stuff, so you can't really. I think that's the big issue: is people keep trying to hold these aldermen to the same scale as the state, and some of them are making false claims that they have the power of the state and are out there just advertising the state and the taxes and we can lower your taxes and we could do this. No, you don't have the authority to do that. You have the authority to waive Olean's taxes. You don't have an authority to do the pilot program. So let's see here. But yeah, Nick's answers are pretty weak. Why are you running? The reason I am running is to try something new and to learn a new experience in my life to see if I can help the city. It's not negative. It's not like, hey, I'm here to burn it down. Like, but it's definitely the weakest of the positive statements. If elected, what would be your number one priority? One of the priorities I see would be infrastructure, roads, and put into certain areas. On why they're making it more difficult for DPW, fire departments, and police departments on getting through our streets. To fix it is to see what other ways will work in improving the area still. So he's complaining that the roads are too narrow, which, I mean, I was on the council when we did that. A lot of the stuff where you put it into a formula for DOT regulates a lot of the road restrictions and things like that. There's a lot of traffic studies that are taken into it, and the new thought process is narrower streets, calm traffic. They, ADA compliant bump out requirements also mean that the roads have to be smaller, because the distance between the crosswalks for people to cross, especially the disabled, is a lot smaller. There's a lot of things that shrink it. It's one of the things, like, you punch into a computer's going to tell you how safe an intersection is if it has a light at it, if it's got a four-way stop, or if it's got a roundabout. And guess what? Sorry to tell you guys, the roundabouts are safer because there's less points of impact. Like that, you can't change that fact. It's like, whoa, we need to reduce corners. Okay, so we put a square, a triangle, or a circle in. Well, if you're reducing corners, you have a circle, because the circle has 0. Triangles have less than squares, but they don't have none. So that's, he's kind of just, he's not on the council, so he doesn't. This one's like Ward 4. It's a toss-up. It's probably more easier for me to make the decision. If I was in Ward 6, I'd probably go with Peterson, because me and him see more eye to eye on the politics, on where we come from in the culture. Yeah, Vernon, everything that I've seen from what he describes, discusses, supports, does, is essentially like all the woke talking points, just like Sonia McCall in the Ward 4 race. It's all the marginalized community. Everything is white people's fault. Like, when really race has nothing to do with it. You want to... why did Siemens leave? White people. Like, it's not the answer for everything. 200 years of oppression should mean something. Well, yeah, maybe, but not in why Olean has roundabouts, or why Siemens left. Yeah, so salt the fish wrap your fish in it, it'll last longer, and then don't forget to wrap it in like a cellophane or something, just so it's got that vapor barrier. Yeah, so welcome to Life22. Who would Kevin vote for in Ward 6? I think it's making it pretty clear. From a political standpoint, me and Vernon don't get along. In that terminology, we don't get along. I know some of Nick's, how he would vote on certain issues. I'm sure, even though his answers are poor here in the paper, I'm sure he'd make the right call when it comes to it. And it is a learning experience. And Vernon's got, a year and a half on him, so he can answer the questions a little better. And I would probably end up voting for Nick Peterson for Ward 6 if I was a Ward 6 resident, just because I know where Vernon's track record is. We don't see eye to eye on politics, so obviously I'm voting for him on a political position. I wouldn't. And Nick's running a Republican. He's conservative. That's what I'm going to vote for. That's my take. You can take your own opinion. Just like I said, this is the conversation here, right? So you guys can pick your own. It's not what I would pick. That's fine. Either way, those are your options for Ward 6, ladies and gentlemen. Now, toss the fish wrap. We'll be back here shortly with Ward 7, which would be another quick one like Ward 2. And then we'll do a little research, and we'll get the mayoral race up on the screen. See you guys shortly.